on the end is a defensive lineman, Justin Belknap. Next to him, defensive back Dane Cruikshank, offensive lineman Jacob Alsadek, and kicker punter Josh Pollack down here on the far right for you guys. We'll open up for questions.
Jacob, having had a few days now to kind of digest what happened Saturday, what are your thoughts on the overall performance by the offense and the offensive line, of course?
I think effort-wise was really good, and we were working hard. We never, as a team, we kept fighting, and that's something to be proud about. Especially being down 0-0 at halftime, negative rushing yards at halftime. Especially as an offensive line, that's not something you want. And I think second half we stepped up, we kept fighting. Good things happened. We came out, played hard, but I think there's a lot of little things that we really need to fix. And if we can do that, I think we'll be a lot better next week. And but it's not big things, just little things, and all those things added up.
You've always
sense, Jacob, on Nathan's comfort level as the game progressed.
Yeah, he was a lot more confident. Every year, every first game, everybody's nervous the first time you go out there. But I think Nate played really well. I think he stepped up and he was confident, and that helps the whole offensive line because he's kind of the leader of the offensive line for us, helping us, telling us where to go and stuff like that. So I think he did a really good job.
Justin and Dane, your thoughts on playing your first game as Arizona Wildcats?
It was a great experience. I was happy to get my feet wet. I felt like I left a couple plays out there on the field, just it being my first game, getting used to the speed of the game and everything. But I felt like now that I got a game under my belt, I'll be ready for next week and a totally different player.
I was super nervous going out there. It was my first game, such a big stage, being such a young guy out there. But after that first play, I was excited. I was ready to go. I wanted to stay on the field as long as I could, even though it's a bad thing for defense. But I just love being out there, and I can't wait for next week.
How do you think the defense performed? I mean, if coming into the game, if you had said, you guys are just going to give up 18 points, most people probably would have taken that and said you're going to win. But Paul McGlory's sentiment after the game seemed to be that it wasn't good enough because you guys didn't.
Well, our goal each week is to give up 0 points, period. I felt like we did a great job for a lot of us players being our first times actually touching the field. But the game ended how it ended, and I'm ready for Gambling State this week, so that's what I'm focused on right now.
Josh, how did you switch things up there with that field goal? It looked like on the 52 one that you missed, you had tons of leg, but then obviously the next one, you couldn't really as far, but you had the accuracy.
I didn't actually change anything up going into that kick. I looked at the first kick as being, a good experience. It's a far kick, and I was happy with how it went. The whole operation was just smooth. Nick Reinhardt, he played really well. Zach Worlinger, his holds are really good. And so going to the next kick, I was just as confident. And, I just kicked the ball how I kicked the ball and expected it to go through. So it felt good.
Josh, how much work did you do with Zach as your holder leading up to this? I know you'd worked with Matt a lot and then you got hurt.
Yeah, me and Zach actually worked together a lot in the spring and all summer. And we also, even when I was taking reps with Matt, we would get together after practice because, Zach's one of those guys that wants to make it perfect. And that's why our special teams unit, I feel, is going to be pretty good this year. Because with Nick and Zach, they both want to get out there every day and want me to go get reps with them, even if it's just watching the snaps and the holds, just to get it all down. And so I'm comfortable with it.
Beg your pardon if I've done. Can you elaborate, Jacob, on those little things that you were talking about? For example, it looked like there was maybe one miscommunication on the news first snap where somebody wasn't blocked. Can you talk about that a little bit more? What are those little things you're talking about?
Just sets, pass sets, steps, angles that we were taking. They just things that in practice you do perfectly, easy things to do, and we just we didn't execute it well. And so I think that those things were the problems that we had and faced up front. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Justin, are you on scholarship?
I am not on scholarship.
Have they mentioned to you the possibility of that happening? Or?
Coach Amy always says keep playing the way you do, and just keep doing what you're doing, and you're playing like a scholarship player, and just keep doing your thing.
You said you were nervous going into it. What was that moment where all of a sudden you weren't nervous anymore?
Right when I hit 73, the left tackle for Chicago's first play. Just all my nervousness and just all my emotion was just out. I was ready to go. I was zoned in. My adrenaline was pumping. I was just ready to go out there and make plays for my team.
Coach was mentioning earlier that one of the things you guys were unable to do is create turnovers. How do you go about doing that? He was saying you can't just talk about it, you have to go out and do it. What do you guys think you need to do to take the ball away?
Like I said, I felt like a couple of us left a couple plays out on the field, it being our first time. I felt like I need to turn my head on those couple fade balls and actually adjust my body to the ball. But to be honest, it just wasn't that type of game. It was just a game 3 and out. That's how we were playing. Taysom Hill was taking shots at us, and he was playing smart. And to credit to them, I have to give credit to BYU. But we just got to keep playing harder, getting used to the speed of the game, and with more experience, I feel like we'll get better and better.
Justin, what do you think?
On the D line, maybe we could have, it's always could-haves and stuff, but we could maybe try to strip the ball more when he, stood up, because we had him stood up and just waiting to get hit. We could have maybe went for the ball more, stripped it more, and that's just something we'll work on in practice.
Was he difficult to, Taysom Hill, was he difficult to corral or chase down? It seemed like he was making a lot of smart decisions when to get rid of the ball or when to take off running.
Yeah, he was making a smart decision to get the ball. He wasn't really sitting in the pocket too much. When he escaped the pocket, he's a fast quarterback. He's a great player. He knew what he was doing with the ball.
Any more questions for the guys?
Jacob, when you come into the locker room at halftime and you don't have any points, it's sort of a state of shock that's just not like Arizona to not score.
It's just frustrating because we couldn't finish drives. We had a couple first downs and, we started moving the ball, but, when you look up and you don't have any points on board, obviously it's just a little frustrating. But, I think that, the coaches came in the locker room and said we were going to win this game, and, we all believed it. Because you go up there and you play and you feel the way that they're playing you, and, you felt that we could win. You really can. You think going into every game you can win, but, even with the score the way it was, you really felt it.
What do you think that you guys did better in the second half as an offensive line, especially getting Nick going?
Getting used to what they were doing, I think, was something, and just getting those nerves away, stuff like that. But, just being confident in ourselves and what they were doing really helped. And, you draw it up on the sideline, but, once you have a little bit more time to talk about it with the coaches and the rest of the offensive line, I think that you really can pick things up a little bit better.
Has anyone seen anything on Grambling State? Dane, maybe you? Have you seen anything yet on them?
Yeah, I came in earlier this morning. I watched some film on them. Pretty good team. We'll come out to compete and ready to go Saturday. That's about it.
So they're pretty good. What do you think makes them good? What did you see on? Was it somewhat impressive?
I see that they got a couple transfer players that could do some big things. We just got to come ready to play and prepare for them this week. That's about it. Like I said, it takes more than one day to see what they're really doing. So I just got to watch more film on them. But I saw that their offense could be pretty explosive at times. So we just got to figure that out.
Josh, this was not your first appearance in a college game, but your first, game as a starter and doing plays kicking and punting. How do you think it went overall for yourself?
I felt like it went pretty well. I felt comfortable out there. I definitely felt comfortable with the punting. After that first ball, my confidence was really high, and I rode that out, and I'll keep riding that out in the field goals. I'm the more comfortable I am out there, all comes from, like I said, my unit was Zach and Nick, and everybody else was blocking for me, so I can't take all the credit for the field goals or the punts, really. And so, I think we've got two really strong units there, and I feel comfortable going out with them every time.
this is for everybody. How pumped up are you guys about getting that emotional lift of knowing that you're gonna get to play at home in front of your home crowd for the first time this season?
I've been waiting for this all my life to play in front of a home game at Arizona Stadium, you know. It's gonna be a great experience, great atmosphere. And I just hope that Zona Zoo is ready to watch Saturday.
Jacob, you wanna add to that?
Yeah, I think it's a good experience, you know, it's something special, especially for stuff that we can do for Zach and his family too, especially, you know, we get all this stuff from other schools and NFL teams, and, you know, that it's nice to see how many people actually care about, you know, our team and his family. And I think that's something special, and, you know, I saw his family at the game, and, you know, it touches your heart, especially because, you know, how close I was with him, especially, you know what I mean, so it's hard, but, you know, it's something special that we wanna just carry on his legacy.
How many, schools and teams sent stuff to you guys, did you say? Like dozens?
Yeah, a lot, you know, we have it up in the offensive line room, a couple letters that Oregon's offensive line sent to us, the whole team from Texas, 49ers, you know, the Cardinals let us use their facility, and, you know, they had a bunch of stuff for us too. But definitely a lot of teams have sent us some stuff, and it's been nice to see all that.
Okay, guys, thank you.